everybody, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another Rumour Has It video. The transfer window isn't open yet, but it doesn't stop Newcastle United being linked to pretty much every single player on the planet. We're going to get stuck in a second, have a look at another player that we've been linked to. We have been linked to him before. This is a little bit of an update because there has been some breaking news or some updates on this player soon. But just before I get stuck in, a little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. We'd love you to come and join us. We are on 2,149 subscribers at the minute, so loads of room for you guys. All free content here. 2 weekly podcasts, Mondays and Wednesdays, and pop-up videos just like Rumour Has It, Morning Magpie, etc. All free, so don't charge anybody for this. Just come and join us and listen to us talk about Newcastle United until we are blue in the face. So let's talk about this player we're talking about right now. It's a player that's been linked quite heavily, actually. We were linked to him in the summer. His name hasn't gone away. Alongside James Maddison, he is a big name that's linked to us in January. And given the price bracket that Chelsea have put on this player, he may be a more realistic option. Of course, we are having an update on this fella here, which is Christian Pulisic. Now, Christian Pulisic is an interesting one because we put a poll up recently, and Pulisic scored quite low on that in terms of would you want him at the club? Now, I think what he's reminded people of at this World Cup, because he hasn't played a lot for Chelsea recently, he's kind of fell out of favour. Chelsea's a very strange club. It can chew players up and spit them out regardless of how talented they are. And this boy is a very, very talented footballer. He's only 24 years old still, a very young man. Done a hell of a lot in his career, as you can see there. He's played over 100 times for Dortmund, 50 times for his country with 20 goals, 11 assists. He's captained his country before. He's a very, very good player. He's got loads of European experience, big game experience. But Chelsea's that kind of club that can just destroy players' careers. And I have a feeling that this is happening to Pulisic right now. So with the volatility of managers, he kind of fell out a little bit with Tuchel. Potter doesn't seem to fancy him. So the story goes is that Chelsea would rather sell the player, and they're looking for a price tag of around 40 million quid. Is apparently what they'd be willing to do business at. But Newcastle United are very interested in the player, and they might try to lowball it and try and get the figure down a little bit. But also Manchester United and Arsenal are keen on him as well. But Newcastle seem to be in the driving seat for this player. There seems to be a lot of noise that maybe we would be a better option. Maybe Chelsea would prefer to sell him to us rather than those two, because Chelsea still don't see us as a rival, even though we're sitting in the top four. That might change very soon if it comes to January and we're still in the top four. They might not want to sell to us. But, I mean, looking at Pulisic in isolation as a player, I think he reminded us at this World Cup, as I said, especially in the England game, just what a good player he is. He's got great control, quick feet, very strong on the ball, strong runner. He draws fouls, as Mark says there, one of his key strengths. His versatility is he can play right across the front three, either side. He can play through the middle. He can drop in as a number 10. Very skillful player, very creative. Can pick that killer pass, can start attacks, can finish attacks. Can score goals. His breakthrough season at Chelsea when they bought him from Dortmund for 58 million quid. They loaned him back to Dortmund for a year, and he come back under Frank Lampard, I believe it was, in the 1920 season, and he scored 11 goals in 34 games, and he looked shit hot. He looked absolutely brilliant. People are talking about when he got the number 10, he was going to replace Hazard. The Chelsea fans were scoffing a little bit. It just seems to have dropped a little bit off the edge of a cliff. But just looking at his stats per 90 minutes, which is quite hard to quantify because he hasn't played a lot of games this season. He's only played 13 games. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist. That's in the Premier League. He's had 4 games in the Champions League with 1 assist and only 1 game in the EFL. But you can see there his stats per 90 minutes, even though he's played such little football. He's not too bad, in terms of his goals to game ratios. He's only in the 64th percentile. He's only got 1 goal. His XG is down to 54. But looking at the greens and looking at his strengths there, his goals to shot ratio. So generally, whenever he shoots, he gets it in the back of the net. He's on the 85th percentile. His dribble completion is excellent. He's at the 91st percentile. And his pass completion, again, 93rd percentile. So 79% of his passes come off. And you could see that in the USA-England game. Everything went through Pulisic. He was the creative influence. And Mark's done a radar comparison there next to Maxi. And you can see in terms of the goals and the XG, Pulisic is ahead of Maxi, as he is on pass completion as well. Maxi kind of beats him in other areas like assists and everything else as well. But Maxi was playing a lot more. He was also assisting for Alan St. Maximin and guys like that as well. So, big pardon, assistant for Wilson. If we had 2 ASMs, my God, imagine that headache. So he was assistant for the likes of Wilson, so that was bumping up ASM's assist stats. But, one issue that Pulisic has. His defense isn't great, doesn't track back a lot, and he's not very good in the air. Being shit in the air isn't really a big issue for us, but obviously we do press from the front. We do have guys that track back with the likes of Miguel Almiron, does a really good job of that. So Pulisic would have to learn how to play a little bit of howl ball, I think. But I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that Pulisic could come in and do a really good job for Newcastle United. Now, the big name that's linked to us in January obviously is James Maddison. We did our James Maddison update video not too long ago there, but Leicester apparently won 60 million quid for James Maddison. James Maddison, I believe, is 26. He's got a couple of years on Pulisic, but listen, they're both fantastic players. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Pulisic is available for 40 million, 35, 40 million quid. I think we do business there. I really do. I think he's a fantastic footballer. I think he would fit in really well to the system. He could play either side of a Wilson or an Isak in the middle. Miguel Almiron could switch either side. Pulisic could switch either side. It gives us depth in the squad if Maxi's fit as well. Him and Pulisic can maybe fight each other for the same position. You can mix it up a little bit. Have different players for different games. Pulisic has done excellent for Chelsea over the years. Regardless of what some people may think about it, him as a player, he scored big goals in big games. Title deciders against Liverpool. He scored in the Champions League. He's bagged hat-tricks before. He is a very, very good footballer, and I just think he needs to get his career back on track. And I really believe he could do that in Newcastle United. I think he would be an excellent signing. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, we always like to hear from you. We always like to engage with you. And as I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. And very importantly, like this video. Help it get around YouTube. Help it circulate. It really helps us drive the channel and just increase the coverage we've got for Evermore. And come on board if you fancy a little bit of this. There'll be loads more Rumour Has It videos coming up as the window draws closer. We've got loads more players to look at. So keep it Evermore, guys. Let's keep supporting that team. We're United, and we'll see you later. Cheers.